All right. Hi, my name is Petra Monaco. I am the CEO of the Rebels Den, and with me I have the Black Plague. And you got to forgive me, I'm German and I keep mispronouncing it, so my forgiveness. I'm going to ask for that in advance. So, hi.
Hey,
what's up?
What's up?
Introduce you guys so that everybody knows who you are.
Well, this is Jatan.
Jatan.
He slaps the bass.
I'm the bass player. I'm Michael Gomez. I do the drums.
He slaps the skins.
He slaps the skins.
I'm Stephanie, and I rip guitars. Just kidding. I do vocals for Black Plague.
Joseph, I do guitars.
I'm Rick. I ride people's shoulders in mosh pits and lose my tooth and stuff.
Yes, Matt wanted me to ask you about that. He was like, talk to Rick about the mosh pit.
Oh, it's nothing, man. I was a little one, man. That was just a little bit of fun, man.
You guys, we're here talking about Metal in the Mountains, about your music, maybe even a little bit more than that. Rick, you reached out to me and said, hey, let's talk about Metal in the Mountains and get this going. So lead the show, man.
No, man, I just wanted to. I seen everybody just on a really good momentum with the promotion going on with the awesome event that will be, I think, what is it, the third year of Metal in the Mountains?
It's a second year.
Is it the second?
Yeah.
Second. Well, it feels like the third because it's got a hell of a lot of promotion. Hell, it feels like the fourth. But we got some really good bands coming on there that we're really excited to share the stage with, and other ones that we shared the stage with before we can't wait to see again. And, you know, Dan White has been really good to us and all that. And Cohen and all them. You know, it's just good to be with all these awesome people and reaching across seas with this shit. So, you know.
Oh, I know. I mean, y'all guys heard the story about Kevin Yates and FIM Reacts and him coming over here with the GoFundMe page, which I was, you know, had the honor to talk to him. And then obviously I talked to Seasons as well about it. And something that keeps coming up for me, I grew up in the 80s. So metal music was not a thing. I mean, it was a thing, but it was not looked in a great eye. Like it was, you know, the devil's worshiper. It was all the negative, like we're all hoodlums and just all these rowdy people.
Definitely devil worshiper.
Devil worshiper.
I mean, it's a thing, and we don't judge, but it has such a negative view of people and society. And yet here we are still, I don't know, you know, I know bands that have been around for 30 plus years in the metal community, and it's still rising, and it keeps coming back, and it keeps, like, it feels like coming full circle where it's now a little bit more in the scene. Agree or disagree?
I think so, because
In some ways, and some ways not. I mean, I think it's always going to be like that, though. You know.
it's definitely for the outcasts and you know, people that. But that's like so many people nowadays that it's just like, I don't know. It brings people together in a community where, you know, they can feel good about it.
I think it's definitely more opened like more people are open-minded about this kind of music, and I think it's great. There's a lot of subgenres and a lot of really cool things that have come about. And I think it's cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen it come circles. You know, I grew up listening to Iron Maiden. Like, that is literally the band that got me started. That's how old I am. But then I got into like Sodom and Testament, which is heavier than Iron Maiden, right? Like, it's a little bit more trashy, whatever you want to call it. And I haven't found my circle of people until I found that circle of people, right? Like, it's really hard to like find like-minded people that listen to the same kind of music when everything is overrun by pop and country.
And damn O'Driscolls.
Well, for me, like, I'm from Germany, and we had our core group of metal guys like that. I think it's heavier and more accepted overseas than it might be in the States.
Oh, yeah.
in some aspects,
we can't
right?
wait to figure that out first.
Yeah, we definitely cannot wait to go overseas and play.
Definitely ready for all that.
It'll be a party.
Yeah, for sure.
So what got you guys together? I know you are from Roanoke, Virginia, but not originally from Roanoke, Virginia. So how got you guys together? Where'd you all come from? How did this become Black Plague?
Well, I don't know. It started with pretty much you guys.
Yeah, we're Jatan and Joseph and myself are formed the band back in was it 5 and some change years ago. Different lineup, but of course band lineups change all the time. But for our case, for the better, like this is the core group here. So we started a little bit over 5 years ago. Just got together and started jamming in a warehouse. You know, weren't really thinking anything big of it much. You know, we're just having fun. And then it turned into, you know, something bigger. And, you know, we started playing shows and people really enjoyed the music. And it just kept growing and growing and growing and just took off. And, I mean, we're very grateful to where we're at now, you know, as opposed to back in the day. But we've learned a lot of things that we had to go through to get to now that were essential. So
Rick was a fan of the band.
Yeah, Rick was
Before
a
he was in the
fan.
band.
And then like I went to hang out with them one day, and like they did this weird, like they had these candles and all this blood, and like they did this sacrifice.
Nice.
Like, I don't really remember it all. Like I woke up, my back was sore, but I've been in ever since. And then we found this vampire in a closet. I swear, he was hanging upside down by his feet when he found it.
It's true, man. Don't judge.
No, but I'm from Tennessee. I come over here from Johnson City. Where you
I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
Transylvania.
I grew up here and then I lived in California for a little while.
All right.
So, yeah.
Cool.
It's just
So
pretty cool.
I want to address a point. So I was telling my partner, I was talking to you guys, and he's like, can I be in the picture? Because he loves bands who have a female lead singer in a metalcore band. Like, he's all about that. He's like, I want to be in it. I'm like, no, you can't be in it. This is my show, for crying out loud. But, you know, like, again, I grew up in the 80s. There's Warlock that I remember. And that's probably, like, the only band I remember that actually had, like, that was in the metal scene of a female. I mean, I know there were a few others, but they were more subdued. And let's just put it that way. And it feels like it's on the rise, right? Like, that there's more female.
It's not. It's like not taboo no more. Like, and you know, the race, sex, age, none of that. You know, with metal, it's like, you know, some
It's
people.
one big family.
Some people are like, don't, you know, just because I'm female, you know, just because we have female, don't, you know, make it more special than all male. Like, you know, listen to it before you see it. You know what I mean? You know, but me,
right.
I like having like a taste of everything in our band. You know, we're all so different. It's freaking weird. I mean, it's great, man. I said all we need now, for anyone that's listening, we're looking for like a Japanese or a Chinese dude for like a DJ, you know what I mean? Got every race.
I'm multicultural. I get it. But you know, like, from my perspective, I grew up with the traditional male bands where females were just not in the scene at all, and they weren't accepted by the male community. And now it seems like on the rise, like in this moment, right? Like she's out there, you guys are out there, and it's just, it seems like it's coming about, no, it's becoming more accepted. And you guys, and it's gonna be like a social issue for me, but you are being male supporters in this thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna have a total female rocker on this show.
I was raised by my mama, so I respect my mama.
Sweet.
I'm kind of the person that you are too, though, because I'm kind of like a dude with like the female parts.
Yes, you speak my language.
Women usually are like more badass at men at shit, like anyways, and once they realize they got it, it's like, well, fuck, you know. So like all these women are like, holy shit, I saw them badass screaming. So, you know, they start doing it, and people are like, you know, like, we got plenty of friends that are looking for bands, good female singers, you know, out there. There's plenty of them. It's great.
Yeah, not me, but I get what.
Yeah, you got it. I bet you.
I do the occasional karaoke. That's about my max on that one. But but what Stephanie was saying, you know, like, I've got the female parts, but I'm definitely leaning towards the masculine side in all my being. But again, also the community. I went to Blues Rock Fest, and that was probably, I have to admit, my first camping experience at a rock concert, even in my old age.
That's fun.
It was freaking awesome. And I was like, oh, wait, I can't wait to do this again because of the community, right? Because it was down to the community. And I've talked to Dan, and I've even talked to the Seasons. I've been to country concerts. I've been to other concerts, and there just seems so much drama with them. So much drama, right? And when you go, like when I was there, the biggest event we had was a car on fire.
Which is really
No, we've had that too.
You know, but there wasn't a fight. There wasn't, like, the only people that got hurt, they got hurt in a mosh pit. There wasn't like a brawl because somebody was snatching somebody's girl or some other kind of drama. It was just the mosh pit.
Well, if we quit handing out all these EPs, these cars would quit catching on fire. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
I don't know. I think everybody like who goes to metal shows, it's all a community. You know, it's not like people just go in there to get drunk off their whiskey and fight each other wearing cowboy hats. You know.
Sometimes that's fun.
It's everybody hanging out as a family. Everybody hanging out. Everybody's friends. It's cool going to shows and just seeing people that you haven't seen in a long time, but you're all connected through music.
And there's also that there's also this respect of, like, I don't go into the mosh pit, but there's a respect of, like, okay, you don't go in the mosh pit, got it, we're gonna not get you in it, right? Like, there's a respect, the boundary that happens, that people are like, oh, there's a metal concert, there's a mosh pit, I'm gonna get hurt. And it's not like that, because the guys that are in the mosh pit are like, okay, we get it, you're not in it, so stay over there.
I mean, it's just fun. It's supposed to be fun, so if you're making it not fun for someone, you're an asshole.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Most of the time, everyone's looking out for everyone else and taking care. It's if someone's getting pushed around or knocked down.
Those guys usually get weeded out real quick by like.
Unless you got them windmillers in there, them karate kicks.
Even some of them like they look first and they're like, and they're like, am I gonna hit nobody? Okay, I'm good. So that's all fun, but like when you're trying to hurt people, man, that's not what.
Yeah, well, my experience at Blue Ridge, there was a bunch of kids in there, and it's absolutely amazing to see the adults support the kids, so the kids have fun, and they're not being pushed out, get hurt, or whatever. It's just, no matter how old you're a grown up, you're going to watch out for them, because you want to make this a fun experience for them, so they'll continue this ritual. That's all I got.
I mean, me and Jatan are fathers, so like we definitely understand the kid part. I seen some kid crowd surfing at. Did you see him? It was a redhead kid. It was for Up on a Burning Body.
Yes.
Like, whose dad was that?
Yes.
Whose dad was that? Like, here you go, son. I'll meet you on the other side.
There's a really cool picture that somebody got, and it was when we were playing, and a kid was on their dad's shoulders, and they had the horns up in the air, and this kid must have been like 5 years old.
Yeah.
It was such a cool picture, because that's what it's all about,
That's where I stole that move from.
I mean, there was one kid who went there like 10 times in a row. He's like, zoom, zoom, zoom. He got out and back and down, back and down.
I was backstage watching that. It was so good.
But again, it shows the community at a metal concert or a show or a festival that we bring together when that happens, right? Like, I mean, that's the thing. So let's talk about Metal in the Mountains. Do you guys know what day you're playing? What your lineup's gonna be like?
Saturday.
The first Saturday, June 1st.
There's still lots of bands being announced, so the times aren't set in stone yet. But Inside Source told us Saturday, so it could change. But regardless, I'm going to be there the whole weekend, like last time, enjoying myself, seeing all these cool people I can't wait to see again, and it's going to be awesome.
I'm looking forward to getting sunburned beyond.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice and hot.
Just like last year.
Yeah.
That's the thing about metal, is the heat and black clothes, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I think we may be crazy at some notion somewhere.
There's going to be some good vendors out there. I think Old School Concessions is going to be out there.
Yeah.
Oh, they were great.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You guys have any shows lined up before then? Or is that literally the next thing you got going on?
We have one in Raleigh at the Maywood in March. I think it's on the 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah, the next thing we're focused on right now is actually a music video. So that's
sweet. Oh, that's awesome.
Around that show.
That and writing new music.
Yeah, we're just working. We're still like open to booking right now. We got some contacts. We got some things in the works, but you know, we got just a lot to do as a band, you know, to be in the right steps in the right process. So instead of just out there bashing a bunch of shows out, you know, spending your money,
Yeah.
you could be investing, you know, and building your, you know.
Oh yeah, I see your posts. I'm all like, yes, I'm all fired up about your posts. I'm like, yes, somebody who gets it. This is a business. It's not just for fun and pleasure. I mean, it's your passion for sure, but there's that business side too as well. And I don't think people don't always talk about that.
I don't think a lot of people though from the outside kind of know that we do all that. They don't see all the stuff that goes on in the background, and it's so much. It's unbelievably a lot of stuff. There's just people, you know, from the outside looking in, like a fan, you know, they see you on stage, they hear your music, they buy your EP, but there's tons of time and money and hours and sacrifice that go in and day out. No matter whether we're not playing a show, that does not mean we're not working. We're always working on something. That's key and essential for a band, is to always be working on something. Everybody in the band is always working on something.
Right, because essentially it is a business. I mean, that is what this is. And there's not from social media to marketing to writing songs to getting in session for a practice to signing up a show or a gig. I mean, there's so many moving components. You guys have to stay on top of it. Do you spread that work amongst each other, or is there like a leader unicorn that says, I'll manage all the things, and you guys come together? How do you guys work that out? Who does what?
We delegate pretty good.
Nice.
I think we all respect each other as far as, you know, human beings, and knowing that, you know, we all have families and stuff that, you know, we need to take care of it and do things for. So, you know, I think most of the time we spread it out, you know, amongst the band. And then a lot of times we get together and we have our meetings, and then we decide, you know, if you want to do this, cool, you're really good at this, you can do that. I mean, it works out and flows really good. So we can make sure that we're covering all the ground that we need to cover, having all 5 members with their hands in the pot doing something.
So you guys draw on each other's strength, like, you know, like, you're really good at this, so you should handle that.
That's how you have to do, man. I mean, you're not going to give the hunter to plow the garden and tell the gardener to go hunt.
Right.
You're going to do what everybody's good at.
Right.
And thank you.
Well, but I mean, some bands or some people that are selling the art, like I've been an artist, and I like, again, I'm not a musician. I do wood burnings, and I have to do all the things because I choose to do them myself. I'm really good at that. I might not be good at something else, like my social media is not that great because I'm just like so focused on other projects. It can be forgotten that we don't think about somebody else's strengths, and to really say, hey, you take care of this because that's your strength and I'm not that great at it. Like, to really own that in sort of a vulnerable spot and acknowledge, you're better at this than I am, so why don't you take the lead on that? And so I appreciate guys sharing on that, because I don't think we always see that side when we talk to musicians and bands and other artists, that there's other things involved, and that delegating, that's a beautiful word.
We love to do this. We love to play the music. We want people to hear it, but in order to keep that going, there has to be due process, or, you know, we'll be exhausted of means to keep doing that. So
yeah,
people want it to keep coming. You know, a lot of people are like, when are you gonna play Roanoke again? They shut down like every good venue in Roanoke for some reason, and you know, it's just hard to, you know, you don't want to just oversaturate your shows. You know what I mean? You just become like a commodity, or just like this band that you can go, let's go have a beer and this band's playing in the background. No, we're gonna be an entertaining show. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on with that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I live in Charlottesville, and there's literally no venue, none, for heavy metal that I would love to go to. I literally have to travel an hour or two, either to a show or to a concert, because there's nothing in my community to experience that locally. The only thing we've had recently was Rock Fest, and I was like, whoa, what's happening? Charlottesville has bands coming in, right?
But that's a festival too. They gotta like shut down the whole place, and
it was interesting and really cold. That's what that was.
a cold festival.
A lot of places are closing though, because a lot of people just don't know or want to make the effort to make an actual social interaction with a human being that's not on a device. I mean, without going out of your house physically to meet new people and have an actual experience. I don't think that you can really have a live experience watching a Facebook live video of a band that somebody's watching live. You need to go out and experience it for yourself and actually physically be there. I think a lot of people have just kind of thrown it out of the door because it's right at their fingertips.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm in absolute agreement with that for sure. And I prefer to watch them live, any show live rather than on Facebook or even YouTube. I mean, I might check them out on YouTube, but then there's still like, I still want to see them live because there's definitely something to the experience to be right there.
Right.
I mean, that's just that.
And then from going to shows like around our area at venues that are now closed, back kind of when we first met, nobody really knew what was going on unless they were reading the flyers that were on the poles, driving around, and we would go to a place and it would be freaking packed to the gills. We went and saw a Metallica cover band at a place that used to be open here, and that place was freaking packed. And it was so many years ago, and it's just like you just don't see that many people out anymore, you know, going to enjoy live music, and it's killing, you know, not only businesses and.
Well, they do if it's you know, fucking Killswitch Engage or Lamb of God or somebody that they get paid the big bucks. You know, they got all that. They can draw them crowds. It's hard for independent artists to draw crowds.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the bigger bands are gonna have the money and they have the following already or whatever, so it's a lot easier for them to draw. Because I can think of concerts I went to, there have been pretty much big bands. Blue Ridge Rock Fest was probably like where I've experienced more closely some homegrown music out of Virginia, where I was like, holy crap, I didn't even know this dude's right here. You know, like I love social media and I hate it, right? Like I love it because I do discover new bands and I do discover new things through it, but at the same time, as you guys said, it takes away from, if you're putting on Facebook Live to play music, it just takes it away. It's just not even a thing.
It's an addiction for people on Facebook.
It is. I have a 15-year-old son who can't live without YouTube, apparently. So, all right, tell.
Start fixing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, where can people connect with you as we're talking about social media? I do want them to connect with you. So, where can they find you and connect with you, experience your music, if to just have a taste of it? But then, please do see them live when you can.
Yeah, probably the quickest way would be our Facebook page. That's the quickest way, and then we're all, you know, our music is all over iTunes and Amazon.
Yeah, we're on all major
Spotify.
music platforms. So we're on Google Play.
We got an Instagram.
And there's samples of each one of our songs off our newest EP on our website, blackplagueband.com.
The actual website, blackplagueband.com, has links to all the social media too, also, and the
Good.
YouTube.
I will be pulling all of those links to put them in the blog post under the video. I don't know if you guys seen the previous one. I'm connecting all the information so they can connect with you, get the date where you're all playing so they can check you guys out. So all of that will be on there. I will promote the interview, obviously, on all of my channels, because that's what I love to do. I love to feature artists in whatever form they may show up. I'm a metalhead at my core.
You had Dan in here earlier, and you had
Yep.
Kevin in here.
I
You're
did.
on the roll now.
I know. I had Kevin was the first one, and I was so inspired by the story. I'm just launching this particular brand, and so I'm excited of where it's going for me already. And I saw the story about he's coming to the States, right? I was like, oh, this is awesome, and how they pulled that off. And so I reached out to them. I said, hey, you guys want to feature? And they're like, yes. And then you were like, hey, can I talk to you? Can we talk to you? And I'm like, of course. But part of this is for me, my passion is to support and feature and talk to artists and let people know about them. That's literally part of my passion, because I've been an underdog. So I understand it.
We love the underdogs. We love people's music.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys for making the time and getting this all set up so fantastically well, and that we didn't have any technical issues.
I'm in the floor, man. I don't got a chair. That's difficult as fuck on my ass. Edit that out.
Anything
you.
else you want to say to anybody that's listening before we say goodbye?
Just thanks. Yeah, thanks everyone for taking the time to support us and check out our music, and stay tuned because there's a lot of good stuff coming. And yeah, we're excited for the show. Come out if you can. And yeah, thanks pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, we appreciate you giving us, the time to speak with us and, show genuine interest in, our music and getting to know us as, a band personally. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a hidden passion that I just discovered. I mean, I knew it, but it's like, it just kind of like, oh, I can do that. Who knew? So
That's how you do it. You get out there and do it.
and then you just decide to do it and you make it happen. And here I am, 4 interviews in. Fantastic. All right.
Oh,